Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our info session to review our Master in Professional Accounting program. We're very excited that you're here. Very, excited that you have come to listen to some of our graduates speak about their experience, as well as get a little bit of additional insight into our program director and his thoughts on our exciting program here. If you're having trouble connecting to your computer, please feel free to use the dial-in here. If you start to experience any connection issues or anything, please feel free to dial in throughout this session. Quick intro. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Carissa Johnson. I am currently the Director of Online Enrollment. I really oversee all of our U-Online student support, so helping all of our students all the way from everything from application all the way through to graduation. We have a great team involved. One of the best parts about our U-Online programs is that you'll always have somebody right by your side, whether it's part of our team on academic advising, enrollment, financial aid, myself, all sorts of cheerleaders in your corner as you go through. Been in higher education for quite some time and have seen, along with one of our guest speakers, our program director, have been overseeing the program since its inception. So pretty exciting to continue to move forward in the online world as well. Couple of housekeeping items. So we'll be here for about 60 minutes, depending on how many questions you guys have. One of the things about the questions is we love questions, right? So we want to make sure that we make this info session as informative and as exciting for you as possible. We will be recording it, so just in case you have to take a break, come back. It will be available after the session is over. And definitely, if you have additional questions that for some reason we weren't able to get to or didn't get answered in depth enough, we are available via phone. Give our enrollment advisors a call at 800-411-2290. You can also live chat with us. Pretty simple way to, be able to kind of multitask and get some of those questions answered, especially if you're walking through the application or those types of things. The way that you would actually submit those questions during our session today is going to be using the Q&A feature that you'll find usually at the bottom of your screen. So hopefully everybody has a lot of questions. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be here. So another way that you can connect with us is also through our social channels, right? Everybody loves to get on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everything else. Let's throw up the U. Let's go in there and connect with our students and our alum. We've got some really great, connections that go on, especially LinkedIn as well. Looking for a job. I'm sure you're interested in that, especially if you're looking at pursuing your master's degree. So please definitely, connect with us on social. It's also just another kind of quick and easy way where you can answer, get some additional questions answered should you have them. So what are we going to chat about today? Most of it is going to be based on what our online Master in Professional Accounting program, what it's all about, how it's structured, how it can help you pursue your dreams of going into the accounting realm. Even if you're currently in the accounting, the accounting space, how can it help you get farther? So we'll go through some of the basics of the program, and then we'll go ahead and get into everybody's favorite, our panel discussion. We're going to get a chance to talk to our program director and also get a chance to pick the brains of some of our recent graduates who've been able to complete the program and now take all of those skills and all of that knowledge and get out into the world and start to do something great with it. Again, please feel free to ask questions throughout the session. We'll be answering them as we go along. And then also, of course, everybody wants to know how they can receive their $300 deposit waiver fee. We'll get to that at the very end. So I promise that we'll get there. It'll just be just a couple of minutes. So now, since everybody's taken a snooze, since it's Zoom and everybody's been doing Zoom for quite some time, we'd like to kind of get a better idea of what your big concerns are. So, they kind of change as you go along. I know that sometimes you have multiple items, and that's okay. try to pick your top one. Ideally, what we'd like to do is try to help you get you the information that you need to really make the best decision for yourself and also for, your career path. So, all right, thank you guys for participating. This was kind of like a pop quiz. So we're sort of getting you ready for, what school's sort of going to be like or what it could be like. So it looks like a lot of you have some concerns about the cost of the program. A lot of you also have concerns about balancing school and life. An excellent concern, especially in this strange time that we're in, right? So we're always balancing everything. These are great. We're definitely going to be able to get a little bit of information as well for you on what it is like to be an online student, what type of support you have, and also, how long it takes and how you're going to find a job. What can you do? What can you do with this degree? So thank you so much for participating in this poll. We will definitely be able to get you all of this information again so you can make the best decision for your future. All right, so let's jump right into it. So is right now actually the best time to pursue an online degree? And the answer, of course, is going to be absolutely yes. It's not going to get any easier. You're not going to get any less busy, whether it's with the kids, whether it's learning how to acclimate to working remotely, whether it's, learning how to juggle the books in your small business now with this really strange time that we have going on right now. The way that our U-Online programs are set up is it offers a lot of flexibility to be able to do those things. If you're in between jobs at this very moment, it also offers you a lot of flexibility to be able to still continue to increase your skills, increase your knowledge in the area of accounting, and be able to go apply for those jobs, do an internship somewhere, get some type of experience without being really kind of bogged down to dates and times. Especially with all of the things that are happening, we have this great opportunity to be able to really kind of, depending on your time zone, anything like that, we have a really great opportunity to be flexible and really fit into your calendar where it makes sense. You will have some, there will be some deadlines and things like that, so it's not kind of a free-for-all, but still, again, you have that flexibility to be able to do a little bit of work after work one day, or maybe it's early when the kids are sleeping. Some of those additional kind of highlights of the program are really the greatest ones, where a lot of people think that online is just like this. It's a talking head and, a PowerPoint presentation, and it's not necessarily that. It's really very interactive. You have a lot of touch points with your faculty. There's everything from weekly office hours in live office hours that you can attend. Typically, they're recorded. So just in case you do have that big office meeting and you can't necessarily get to that office hours and ask your questions, there's still a variety of other ways that you can communicate with your faculty. The faculty in this program are absolutely excellent, and they're willing to work with you, well, whether it's after hours, early hours, depending on what works for you, to make sure that you're able to understand and consume that, new content that you're reviewing and really do very well in the program. Some of the faculty will even set up weekly one-on-one sessions with you specifically to help you prepare for things like the CPA and those types of things. So that's just kind of a brief overview of the good stuff, all the fun stuff in the back end, right, of the program. Essentially, we get a lot of questions too of, do you need an accounting background to do well in this program? And the answer is really no. So this program is amazing. It's designed for everybody from, if you have a degree in a non-business major, for example. Let's say you've been, out of school for quite some time. Let's say you do have an accounting degree, or let's say you do have accounting experience in that mom and pop shop, all of those different options, this program will be able to help you get to the next step. And we'll actually be going through a couple of those different options right here. So essentially, if you come in with an accounting background, we have a track for you. It would basically be where we're, or if you're looking to do the CPA. So you can kind of come into the program in a variety of different ways, based on your experience and based on your education and really based on your comfort level of, do you want to commit to a master's program? Do you want to only commit to a certificate program? The best part about the way that this program is structured is that anybody can start in the certificate in accounting practice. It is a 4-course, roughly 8 months or 2-semester certificate. The best part about it is that those courses lead you right into the master's degree. So let's say you're not ready to commit to 16 months. Seems like a long time, really, maybe it is, maybe it's not. 8 months sounds a little bit more palatable, and so you start in that. As soon as you get done with your 3rd class, if you decide this is amazing and I want to continue to go and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, then we have a process for you to switch from the certificate and go right into the master's degree. At a master's level, you can also start there. So let's say you did want to start right in the master's degree. We really have an option for our folks that don't really have an accounting type of background. That would be the Master of Professional Accounting degree. We do also have a separate track, and that would be the Master of Professional Accounting degree with the CPA track. It's a slightly different course load, but if you decide that you do take the Master of Professional Accounting, you can also go the CPA track. Once you get to the end of it, if you decide to keep going, you can definitely do it. It's just a couple course difference. We also have an option with that really combines some courses with our existing UOnline MBA. So again, if you decided to say do a certificate in accounting practice, some of those courses could be used towards your MBA as well. Also on vice versa, right? If you decided to do an MBA with us and then decided that you wanted to continue with a few additional courses, you essentially are able to add that certificate to the MBA. So there's a lot of different options, and realistically, it just depends on what your goals are and really what your background is. We really do have an option for everyone. If you've got the interest in accounting, we can help you get to where you want to go, specifically in the accounting world. This is just kind of a brief highlight of some of the course titles that we have. Everybody loves taxation. Everybody loves auditing. So some of the things that you're going to find in here are going to look pretty, your pretty basic courses, right? Your intro courses, your intermediate courses, cost accounting, things like that. Things that you can, as you're in the course, you're going to be able to obtain skills and review the information, be able to immediately apply it right to your existing role in your job. Or being able to go volunteer and help a local establishment in the community. Maybe they need some help. You can go, I don't want to say practice, but you can take that information and be able to go and immediately apply it. And that is really the goal. The content that the faculty create in these courses is very relevant to real life. So every year, the taxation course, it actually gets an update based on new tax laws that are coming in, so that you have the absolute most up-to-date information to be able to graduate from this program and get out there and go use your degree. The other thing that we get a lot of questions on is, how do we help students prepare for the CPA? That's where our program director comes in, and he's going to highlight some of those really specific items as well. Essentially, there are going to be some students that come in, they're not really interested in the CPA in the beginning, and that's okay. The one thing that we do, want to specify is that every state is a little bit different with their CPA requirements. So our enrollment advisors are incredibly knowledgeable about assisting you all the way, starting with the application, to ensure that you have the proper background, to ensure that that this program is going to be the right fit for you, to ensure that In some states, you may need a couple of extra courses. Business law is one of those. I'll just give you the fair warning. And what we're going to do is be able to prepare you and help you with that test. So giving you the content, getting you to the test, and then being able to help you feel extra confident in terms of, you feel prepared to pass it. It's a couple part test, and, students that have done our program have a pretty high pass rate in the CPA, specifically, I believe, in Florida. So, but that also doesn't mean that our students haven't passed the CPA in other states. That's one of probably the best parts about the program also, is that it gives you the opportunity to network with people from across the country and stay in your bunny slippers. So in terms of supporting on the academic level, we've got a tremendously great spread of faculty. They all have excellent industry experience. We'll talk with Professor Seth Levine here in a little bit. I'm very excited. Hopefully you guys are too. Essentially, they created this program with a very student-centered approach. It really does focus on smaller class sizes. So you shouldn't feel like you are sitting in a room of a huge lecture hall of 150 students. One of the benefits of that is really that one-on-one time and that really high engagement level that we have with the faculty, with the support staff that you will get in this program. There is always someone there to be able to call, email, chat with if you're having any type of issue, challenge, anything. Tech support, even regardless of whatever type of time zone you're in, you'll still be able to get in touch with someone and be able to get your questions answered. We do also get a lot of questions in terms of campus versus online. It's an interesting world that we live in right now, where most of us, or quite a few of us, maybe did their initial program, their bachelor's degree on campus, and maybe online wasn't a thing then. Right now, what we have done is we've really designed this program to ensure that you are getting the same experience and the same opportunities that campus students are getting. Some of those resources and access include things like our career centers, the Launchpad, which is an amazing resource for students thinking of starting a business, kind of have a current business, but have some great ideas, not sure how to get them into real life. Contact the Launchpad. It's a very cool resource for our students and definitely available to campus students as well as online students. One of the things that we also try very, very hard to do is make sure you don't feel like you're the only person on an island with your laptop in your bunny slippers and you feel like you're all by yourself. Even as an online student, you've got access to student organizations. Graduation, we expect to see you there. We'll be handing you your cap and your gown, and we'll be sitting with your family in the rafters cheering you on as you walk across the stage. So those are some of the, definitely the resources that are available to obviously both campus students, but also to online students as well. That also includes a lot of networking opportunities within those organizations and different things like that you'll be able to find as an online student. One of the other important things for online students is definitely going to be, what happens if I get sick during my class? What happens if I have to take a break from my classes because I have to go travel or something like that? I have a lot of questions about cost. How do I pay for it? What is an MPN? What does financial aid mean? So we have people that are here that are dedicated and fully knowledgeable from the time that you inquire and are interested in the program, starting that application. We have people that will be here by your side every day, all the way through graduation. We'll be making sure that you're doing well academically, providing those resources that you need. Is it you need to brush up on your writing? We also have an orientation that we have students take prior to starting the class, so you don't feel like you have to just start this marathon from standing still. You'll definitely be able to start it at least with a little jog. We are going to make you try to write, a mini paper before you start, and it's going to get you back into school mode. So 24/7 tech support, that's a huge one, right? Nobody has the same schedule, and so that is why online programs are really important for students. They do provide that flexibility, and sometimes you get some weird error message, or you have a problem uploading a document into your class, and it's 5 minutes before the deadline on a Tuesday night at 11 o'clock. So 24/7 tech support, and also 24/7 access to the library. Those are critical resources that we provide to all of our online students, along with, there's all of us here for you too. What do you need? What can we help you with? We'll always be reaching out just to make sure that you're not feeling, again, like you're on that island. Kind of doing a quick shift also into the support. We do have dedicated financial aid. We do have a dedicated financial aid representative that will be able to help you with a lot of questions in terms of, how do I pay for this? How much is it? What are my options? So we do have plenty of different options, including payment plans. If you plan on not using any types of financial aid, we have scholarships available that are based on a variety of different things, such as depending on your start date, we have some scholarships available for those, really up to 30%. If you're military, if you're a UM alum, did you do really well in your undergrad, you may be able to get some additional scholarship money there as well. One of the things that I would highly recommend doing is completing your FAFSA as soon as possible. It's not as hard as it was in the olden days, so don't be too worried about it's going to take me 3 hours to do it. It's all electronic now. You just need some basic information. You don't even actually need a hard copy of your taxes necessarily to complete it the first time. So it's really fancy now. The government's kind of caught up a little bit on that part of it. I would definitely recommend completing that first. And then that really opens up a lot of additional, ways that we can help you in terms of financing and give you those types of options. This chart right here gives you a brief idea of what the overall cost looks like, specifically with the scholarships. So in terms of the certificate, it's basically half of the master's degree. So you'll see that the cost is about half of what that total master's degree is. The CPA track does include a couple of additional courses that, again, if you chose, if you're thinking of wanting to complete the CPA, it's a great opportunity to you're in school mode, right? So to continue on and move forward and do that. So definitely, if you have additional questions on how to pay for this, or what does it look like, or, your exact situation, please contact us. We have really, really knowledgeable people that can help assist with those types of questions. Also, the application fee, there is not one. So you're welcome. You can go take that $30 and go spend it on a cheeseburger or something. New bunny slippers for your new program that you're going to be enrolled in within a couple of weeks here. The programs, or the application is very simple. We've really designed it with the working adult learner in mind. We don't require a GMAT or a GRE score if you're a well-qualified applicant. In some cases, we may ask for one, and the best part about it is that we have some different options for you. You may be able to start in the certificate with no GMAT. So definitely, one of the first things I would highly recommend is creating your account right on our site, and then getting in there and uploading a copy of your unofficial transcripts and your resume. That gives us a lot of information to be able to assist you in what those paths are to kind of, the path of least resistance towards admissions, essentially. The other thing that we require is a resume. I'm sure that you guys probably already have this sitting on your desktop. So, easy upload. And then a personal statement. It's basically who are you, right? It's roughly 1 page long. People really have a little bit easier time talking about themselves. So pretty easy, probably can get this done in less than 30 minutes. Requesting your official transcripts. Again, just a couple of quick clicks. Now, mostly all of them are electronic, so you don't even have to worry usually about the mail. 2, professional recommendations. That's where, your boss comes in, your mentor, people like that. They're all electronic. All you have to do is add their name, their email address, and email goes directly to them. You can also track all of your information and all the documents that you have and still need right in the application. So it's super duper easy. Total time, probably 1 hour. Typically, we're only waiting for letters of recommendation. So there's plenty of time to still get started for our next start, which is in September. Once you get the application done, we'll get back to you within 48 hours or less. Yes, it's true. True statement. You're not going to sit and wait for weeks and weeks and weeks to figure out if you get to, flaunt your orange and green shirts now because you're a cane. We're going to be able to get that information to you within a couple of days. And then, right away, you'll be able to get started. Once you accept your offer, you'd be able to get started on the orientation and really start to get very, very prepared for class. So what I'd like to do now is go ahead and give a brief introduction of some of our featured guests for this evening. Currently, right now, you are looking at our fearless leader for our accounting program, Professor Seth Levine. He's got a tremendous background in accounting. He is a CPA and actually is a cane himself. He's been around with the program since the beginning, had a super influential in creating the content of the course and getting everything set up. What we'll also do is introduce you to a couple of our graduates. Vanessa Bastian-Joseph, pretty recent graduate. She's currently the Assistant Director and Project Coordinator for Fonds Day Development Industrial in Haiti. And also Josh DeBella, currently a teacher at Immaculate High School. So we're very excited to have them participating in our panel today. If I can ask if everyone can turn their cameras on. I'll give you guys just a second to do that. Let's see. And let's see. So once we get everyone's cameras on here, we will go ahead and get started. There we go. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I hope that you guys are as excited as I am. Seth, you look very excited. So, all right, great. So what I'd like to do is start to ask some important questions for our guests on the line. Professor Seth Levine, can you please give us just maybe an additional little quick background on your involvement with the U Online program and kind of some of your background?
Sure. So thanks for having us. So I've been with the university, like Carissa said, actually for 40 years. I was a student 40 years ago and earned a couple of degrees, 2-3 degrees, a bachelor's and then master's in accounting and MBA. And I guess I liked it so much, I started teaching right after my second graduate degree. So I've actually been teaching at the U for 30 years. But along the way, worked in public accounting, worked for Price Waterhouse, and did a bunch of different things in public accounting and HR. Started an import-export business, a family-run business, did that for a while. But all along I've been teaching, and all along I've been really enjoying working with students like yourselves, both ground-based students as well as U Online students who are looking to get into the world of accounting. So like Carissa said, some people know that they want to do it right from the get-go. Some people are looking to change careers or maybe to get promoted in their career. So about, gosh, a little bit more than 5 years or so ago, we started this program. We built it from scratch, myself as well as the other professors you saw in that picture. And we said, what do students need if they want to become CPAs? So we built this, 8-course lockstep, one by one program going through, like Carissa said, audit and tax and all the different things. And for most students, when you're done with those 8 courses, you're ready to sit for the CPA exam. We also are fortunate to be partnered with the world's largest CPA review course called Becker, and myself and several other professors have been with them for a while as well. So it's kind of a match made in heaven. We've got a lot of students going through the program, including my daughter. My daughter actually has been going through the ground-based program, and she's actually finished her bachelor's, taking the CPA exam this summer, and she's going to be doing her master's in the next year as well, just like potentially a bunch of you guys. So the system works, and whether you're looking to work in public accounting for one of the big accounting firms, or one of the cruise lines once we start cruising again, or one of the airlines once we start flying again, or whatever you want to do, there's so much opportunity in the world of accounting. There's literally no unemployment unless you choose to be unemployed because you're maybe semi-retired in the world of accounting. So we're also lucky enough, we actually have an advisory board. We've got about 25 to 30 folks who work in the accounting profession, trying to give us advice on what the students need to have so that when they graduate, they hit the ground running, and they have so much opportunity. There's much more demand than supply. So there's a lot of jobs out there, and hopefully you guys will be filling some of those spots.
Thank you, Seth. Josh, I would like to kind of pass it over to you and see what was it that attracted you to the U-Online Master's degree in professional accounting?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me and letting me share my experience with everybody. It's good to see you again, Professor Levine. It's been a while, I think about 2 years. So what interested me was the ability to not have to uproot myself from my life, so to speak, in order to obtain a degree from the University of Miami. I am a native of Connecticut, so it's a little far. I had a kind of a life going for myself. I had been working in government for a few years after I had graduated from my undergraduate degree, and I didn't want to give all of that up but at the same time, I wanted to continue my education, and I wanted to continue it at a school that I believed in their program and believed that it was going to serve me well holistically. And the University of Miami's online program in accounting really seemed to almost be customized for me. It was like exactly what I was looking for. I had been investigating other programs, other degrees, other things like that, and it just was, that balance didn't seem right. And then when I came across the U-Online program, it was like, this seems perfect. And I went through the application process, like you said, and was accepted, offered a scholarship. And then I continued on to do the orientation, which was really great because it was like a little mini course, and it does get you back into the school mode, like you said, Carissa, and it brings you back into that mode after being out of it. You're surprised that you can be a little rusty. Like, I was always a really good student, and I had to get myself back into that mode. It was like you're surprised because you're not using those muscles, so to speak. And so you have to build up those muscles again. And it's a great, safe way to build up that strength again without feeling that you're going to compromise anything in your coursework, because it's basically for practice. And so you're learning how to get back into the swing of things without the fear of penalty, which is really, really nice.
That's great. Thank you, Josh. Just like Josh was saying, the orientation, it's a love-hate relationship, right? You got to get back into it sometime, but I appreciate the fact that most of our students find the benefit in it. So thank you very much. Vanessa, would you mind talking to us a little bit about, since you're an international student, why you chose UN and what was it that attracted you to this program?
Good evening, everyone. Yes, I am an international student. I am currently located in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. It's in the Caribbean, right next to the Dominican Republic, for some who don't know. And I have to say that I was actually living in Florida before. And then I just decided to move back home after I got my bachelor's degree. And I've always wanted to be a cane, always wanted to attend University of Miami, like since high school. I actually went to Palmetto Senior High right down the street from UM. And when I finally got the opportunity to attend University of Miami without having to move back to the States, I immediately jumped on it. So as an international student, I can say that the school, especially with the faculty, they've really understood the fact that I am overseas, that I live in a third world country, and that I will have some I would say occurrences that can prevent me from turning assignments on time, or even just anything like internet problems, social political problems, flooding, whatever it is. And I have to say that the professors, especially Professor Levine, I haven't met in person, but was inundated with my thousands of emails. I'm really sorry about that. But I just wanted to say thank you for being understanding of my situation and how an international student was able to do their degree on time despite everything that was going on. So that was my experience as an international student.
Thank you, Vanessa. I think that submitting stuff on time might be the same challenges for a domestic student too, with all of the things that we all deal with. So thank you very much for that. Professor Levine, would you please, we kind of touched on this a little bit before, but can you give us a little bit more insight into, some of the, how exactly does faculty support students as they move through the program? And I think that maybe Vanessa kind of touched on that a little bit as well.
Sure. Well, and Josh and Vanessa, it's great to see the both of you guys as well. So we would see each other maybe on a weekly basis, right, during our courses. So Carissa, to your question, we're not a huge program yet, right? So we are at a great level where the faculty to student ratio is nice and small, and most of our courses or cohorts are maybe 15 to 20 students, or at least per section. I don't think we ever try to have a section of a class that's much more than that. So the faculty student ratio is really low. So we constantly, all the other professors as well, we know that online you're a little out there on an island, right? Figuratively and literally in Vanessa's case, right? But you're out there on an island, and sometimes you're lonely, and you need that help and you need that support. And it's not like you're going to class every day and you're seeing your classmates. So as much as we can, we give out our cell phone. So I've got students calling me, texting me all the time when they get stuck with something. We give out our email address, and Vanessa did not email me that much. And believe it or not, there were many other classmates that emailed me even more than Vanessa. So that's how we work. That's what online is. So there's a lot of one-on-one, but we, at least once a week, we have weekly office hours. They're usually at nights. We try to figure out when it makes the most sense. Sometimes I'll do a Friday happy office hours or whatever, to the extent that we do that. So we just try to work around student schedules, maybe even do it over the weekends to just go over homework problems, or just, we do implement to some extent flipped learning and flipped classrooms. So we've got a lot of video components in the courses to where students can kind of watch us doing things in advance of going to class. We try to utilize technology. For a lot of the courses, we're partnered with Wiley Plus or McGraw-Hill Connect, which is also very, very beneficial. So the point is, there needs to be a community. And I think that, by the way, and Josh and Vanessa, I don't know if you guys were in the same cohort, but it seems like the cohorts themselves develop a lot of camaraderie. It seems like there's always a text group within the cohort or a WhatsApp group. So the classmates wind up helping each other out, and that's really the benefit in a graduate program, is you wind up learning maybe more from your fellow classmates than from your professors as well. So it just all seems to come together because every course is different.
Thank you so much, Professor Levine. And, you know, just to add to that, we have multiple students that they're, you know, setting up those WhatsApp groups, right? You really get to start all of the fun. That's your networking opportunity as well, or a portion of it. So you definitely aren't on your island, although I still suggest the bunny slippers. Josh, would you mind giving us, give us some of your favorite experiences as an online student, and you know, how did the faculty offer additional support? How did you utilize some of your, you know, maybe additional resources or any other type of support?
Sure. The faculty, it's a very student-centered program. It's designed around a working person's schedule, basically, with the understanding that life happens. And I believe that that is the understanding of all the professors. So you can reach out to them if there is an issue, and they're more than happy to work with you with certain things. I actually started the program when Hurricane Irma was hitting Miami, and everyone had to evacuate. And I remember, because it didn't really affect the online program, but we were, people who were in Florida or were affected by it, there were extensions on assignments and everything, because people's internet were down. They were in other parts of the country because they were out of Florida. And I actually remember there was a question on an assignment, and I did call Professor Levine, and he was in the airport, I think, flying to Washington, D.C. to evacuate from Irma. So yes, they are accessible at all times. Something that I think is really cool is that I took for granted, I didn't think twice about it then, but now, I mean, we were doing Zoom meetings before Zoom was a thing. You know, we were way ahead of this. So I think that now, especially where technology has become essentially mandatory as an alternative in every aspect of life, we were prepared not only with the material, but the resources that we used to access the material. So we have no issues, I think, in terms of transitioning into this new technological world, this completely internet dependent situation that we're in that's very unprecedented. We already were exposed to all of the resources through this program. So, and that's a testament to that. I mean, we were having Zoom meetings once a week at least, and you know, and a lot of times the professors would even log off, and some of the students would stay on and work together even without the professor. So there definitely is camaraderie. It is a cohort primarily. I had a lot of the same students in most of my classes throughout the program, and it was nice to see everybody again in the next class. It was nice to feel the connection. We have discussion groups basically in every class. So you're always posting something, and you're required to respond to other people. So you're getting to know people virtually, and there definitely is camaraderie with the faculty and the students. And another thing that I think is great is that the faculty teach on campus too. So it's not like you're missing out on anything by not being there. You're getting the same type of academic experience. The same professors that teach students on campus are teaching you. It's not like it's a separate entity, so to speak. It's just another format. And I think that that's a really big bonus as well.
Great, thank you, Josh. And that is very true. All of our faculty are definitely teaching on campus, and they're still even available for you on nights and weekends and throughout the day. You know, Seth loves emojis when you text him, so just make sure that you get his cell phone number when you come and start our program in September. Vanessa, would you please kind of give us a little bit more insight into, you know, what did you learn in the Master of Professional Accounting program, and how did that impact your career?
I had to unmute myself, I'm sorry. Okay, so what did I learn in the program? I have to say that my background is that I am a loan officer, and in the Caribbean, it's a little bit different than how they do it in the States. A loan officer basically is kind of like a junior accountant, because I deal with a lot of SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises. Now, as a loan officer, I've always had to dabble into accounting, how to write financial statements, and like the both parts. I'm sorry, sometimes my brain fumbles. I speak 4 languages, so I can learn a word in French, not know it in English. I apologize in the very beginning.
That's awesome.
So now, when I got the opportunity to join the program to become an accountant, I jumped on it because, like I said, I've already dabbled into being an accountant. Now, once I graduated from the program, I actually got a promotion at work. I became I became the person responsible for the portfolio at risk for the bank where I work at. I work for a division of Haiti Central Bank. It's a developmental bank. And what we do, we work a lot with SMEs, whether it's for local market or international market. And with graduating from this program, I got the promotion of being responsible for the risk portfolio to help those clients manage their liquidities, produce better financial statements, and even be part of, even create more jobs, generate more jobs within their companies. And I can say that this program has really helped me in doing this task and getting this promotion, because now I have, SMEs coming to me and telling me they need help in writing their financial statements or generating financial statements that will be submitted to what we call our own IRS division. So that's how this program has really helped me a lot.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing, and congrats on that, promotion. I think we're all looking for one of those nowadays. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Professor Levine, can you give us a little bit more insight into all of the connection that you guys have with Becker, and how that could potentially help a student who's interested in taking the CPA exam, and how they can pass it? That's more important, is how they can pass it.
Right. No, sure. So, the CPA exam has always been a very daunting, professional credentialing exam. And going back, several years, it was the kind of thing that was a marathon. You actually had to take the whole thing all at once over 2.5 days, almost 20 hours, the 4 parts. So you literally needed to train and study for 4 parts at a time, which is like taking 4 courses at a time, which would be half of the program at a time, which is almost suicide. So nowadays, fortunately, the examiners let candidates take 1 part at a time. And so the 4 parts are financial, accounting, and reporting, which, as Vanessa was mentioning, the intermediate accounting course and the financial statement analysis course that seems to have benefited her, and the advanced accounting, all that leads to that. There's one section called regulation, which is tax and law. And so the tax, we've got an excellent tax course, and Vanessa was mentioning how it seems like that's useful, to her country's version of the IRS. So we actually have Professor Perez and Dr. Dennis. We use her book. So it's actually, Dr. Dennis is one of the faculty on staff at UM, and while Professor Perez delivers it, she's the one who behind the scenes did all the narrated slides, and it's her textbook. And out of all the Wiley titles, I think she's the only professor that actually does an annual update tax textbook for John Wiley. So we're lucky for that partnership. And then there's another part on auditing, which we've got a course, which I think is the best course in our program. It's Accounting 686. Manny Secre teaches that, along with Professor Genovese, I think, when Josh and Vanessa were taking it. And that course is very, very rich, and there's a lot going on. But all of that stuff helps the candidates to be ready to roll into Becker, which is a review course. And you pretty much are purchasing a big software package, and it's a big data bank, and it's a big test bank of questions, and there's a lot of lectures as well. But the national passing rate for the CPA exam is about 50% per part. So that means of all the candidates sitting for each part, only about 50% pass. Now that seems kind of low, even though back in the olden days, it was closer to 10 or 20% when you had to take all 4 parts at once. Now, since you can do 1 part at a time, it's about 50%, but for Becker students, it's closer to 75 or 80%, which means that most students who go through the UM program, whether it's ground-based or online, and who also wind up graduating and then going into the Becker courses, pass it at a rate of 75%, which means that, you know, some students will stumble on 1 part, but most students do wind up passing 3 or all 4 parts right from the get-go. So, so it's a great partnership. We actually were teaching it on campus every summer, and that was also open. We've had U Online students attending it if they were able to do that. But of course, now COVID aside, it's the first time in 10 years that we haven't been able to do that. But we're very fortunate because there are only some schools who've got this partnership with Becker, and they've got great passing rates. And actually, we went over 80% for the last year. So we're very, very proud of the partnership and with the success rate for students going through it. But it's very aligned. It's very, we structured our program to go right into the Becker, to go right into the CPA. So there's a direct correlation to how we created the program and the CPA exam.
That's great. Thank you for that information. So basically, you know, now instead of your CPA being a marathon, it's just a bunch of 5Ks, and your, you know,
10Ks.
Master Professional Accounting program is basically your big bowl of pasta to fuel you to get past it. So definitely thank you for that insight. I think we have time for just a couple more questions here. So I'd like to turn it over to Josh once again. And you know, we've already asked Vanessa this question, but we'd like to hear your kind of your experience and really, you know, what have you done with what you've learned in the program, and how has it helped impact your career?
Okay. In the middle of my time on U Online, I actually got a promotion with a job. I was able to go, I worked in government, and I was able to go from local government from a smaller town to a larger town with a similar function, but more responsibility because it was a bigger town. And I remember, I think it was my first 3 days on the job that I had to do some type of financial reporting for my duties. And it was all done on a piece of paper, and you had to write everything out. And, you know, government is very, very slow to transition with technology. And I said, you know, I have a way that we can maybe make this go better. And I had become an expert on Excel through the Accounting Information Systems course, more than I thought I even wanted to be because it was so intense. But it really, really served you well, because it's what I think is great is that we're talking about accounting, but accounting is, like they say, the language of business. It transcends just the specific role of accounting. You use it in every capacity in your professional or personal life. It's present everywhere. And I was able to take those skills and create this spreadsheet document with formulas and, you know, everything. I translated everything that was on paper into Excel because of the skills that I learned in that class. And that was like 3 days on the job, which was like, really made me look good to my boss, which was a very good thing. I continued utilizing all of that information, you know, in everything that I do. And then on top of it, I decided, you know, I enjoyed the academic aspect of accounting and business in this program. And I actually did a career change, and I pursued secondary education after that. And I'm currently a teacher, and I teach business courses, and I teach AP Economics. Economics is my undergraduate. And we're excited that just this coming year, we're launching on a whole new aspect of business courses. And we're going to be, I was responsible for revamping the accounting program at our school. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't gone through this program, and provide kids at a younger age who don't really have any exposure to accounting until they're in college. So we're trying to give them a leg up by seeing what they can do early on. We're going to do some career preparation. They're going to learn about the road to CPA, even in high school, because sometimes if you know what you have to do earlier in life, You're not like in your junior year of your bachelor's degree saying, oh, I wish I had just known this when I started. And we're trying to provide some, professional development opportunities and career planning, even at the high school level. So all of that has been possible because of the program that through you online. And also, I just can't stop emphasizing the technological components. I'm a pro at technology because you have to use it with this program. When we transitioned to fully online classes as a school, I was so used to this. I had used Blackboard, I had used Zoom, I had used all of this stuff. I had already had ideas of how to formulate online classes because I had taken online classes. So to me, it wasn't a transition at all. I excelled at it. My students did well, and I credit the program for that. So when we talk about education, it's not just about the specific content matter, it's also about broadening your perspective. And I think that this program broadens your perspective. And like, I think that Vanessa and I are both examples that you don't just have to go on the CPA track or go work at a Big Four. You can apply this anywhere. It's a great degree for life. And you learn valuable skills that any business, any profession will value.
That's great. Thank you. And thank you for teaching the kiddos that accounting is not boring, obviously. So changing the perception, got to start with the young kids. So, all right, great. I think we have time for one more question. Vanessa, we are going to go right back to you. Being an international student sometimes, again, comes with some challenges. Different support, some of our students need different types of support systems. Can you give us a little bit of information or, some examples of how you utilize, any types of university resources or faculty that, you needed to kind of help support you while you were going through the program?
I have to say that the IT department of University of Miami has been a great help for me, even though I am overseas. They were able to basically remote access my computer and figure out what is it that I couldn't, get access to. I remember there was the Wiley book that I couldn't access at one point, and then there was also another one. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank right now. And I called the IT department. They're actually open 24 hours a day. I think up until midnight at some times, but it was 7 days a week. And they were able to remote access my computer and find exactly what I was missing for me to be able to access the resources that were available to me as an online student. And also the university library really helped, especially when we had to do the discussion board responses. Yes, we do have access to the books, but since, you also have to implement your own research and your own opinion in a discussion board, sometimes you need to go into the library database to find that information, to take it out and then put it into the discussion board so that you can complete your assignment. So I have to say the IT department, the online library database, and also the students, your classmates, the fact that, we can, I wasn't part of the WhatsApp group because I was having a big internet problem here in Haiti, but email with your classmates is really important because they're not your competitors, they're your classmates. You're there to help each other. So those were the three resources that I can say that really helped me to finish my program on time.
Thank you so much. That's excellent. And there are a ton of university resources. There's a ton of untapped university resources, but truly, whatever sort of challenge you may find yourself into, we definitely try to make sure we've got something for everybody in all of those situations. So thank you guys all so much for joining us. Professor Levine, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure you have 100 text messages from your current students, so you better go ahead and start replying to those. Josh, thank you so much again, and Vanessa, definitely. Thank you guys. Your insight into being an actual student and, doing something awesome with this degree is is just incredible. So I appreciate your guys' time. And we will see if anyone else has any additional final questions before we leave. Otherwise, I'd like to, again, just thank everyone for joining us today. If there's anything that you can think of later on that you get stuck on, have additional questions, again, you can contact us by phone. You can contact us by phone or by chat, send us an email, contact your enrollment advisor, and we can definitely help you out. So thank you everyone again, and have an excellent evening.